Okay, this is probably a little bit overdue, but I think we need to talk about loot. And not just this kind of stuff that you will find, but the more interesting and rarer, more useful items that you can actually get from bosses or whatever activities you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to skip this page because this is all my gear. I've already gone into these. These charms are from seasonal events, and so are all this bottom section. So we're going to skip that for now. I'll discuss that later. But these here, we already know about dungeon keys. But I'm going to go into specifically infernal fragments. I'm going to go into these and mastery tokens, possibly this. Okay, so what mastery tokens are is this is sort of like a currency to open up mastery crates. Okay, to check how many you need. Spoiler alert, it is 5 stacks. Okay, so 320. 5 stacks of these. When you have that in your inventory, you'll be able to open up one of these. You'll pick some random or whatever ones you want, and you'll open that up. I don't have enough, sadly. These can be received from doing, you can either do dungeons, and the time in which you complete the dungeon and the percentage of the dungeon is going to affect how much you actually get. You're going to get more if you do it faster and more efficiently, so more percentage. And I know this is the case for elite dungeons, and I think veteran dungeons, I don't think you'll get them from normal dungeons at all. Also, probably the best place to get these is bosses, and this is for insane mode onwards. So the higher the insane, the more you're going to get of these. And you might be thinking, okay, all right, well, what can you actually get from this mastery crate? Well, it has a look. We can have a look, and it will show you, okay? So boss reset scrolls, very handy if your boss is on cooldown, so you've done it recently, you can just straight away reset that and go again. You've got your unique attachments, so you can even get like a maximum lifesteal attachment, which happens to be 2.4 and very sought after. If you get one of those, I think you can sell it for about $1 million, but I would recommend keeping it. You can get unique boss items, which I'm going to go into in a moment, and infernal fragments. Let's talk about infernal fragments next, actually. This is a tier 6 resource. Okay, there are a number of different places you can get it. Okay, if I do happen to have one, keep in mind they are sadly untradeable, so you're not going to be able to give them away to your friends or receive them from your friends or buy them. But you can get this. There's a couple tasks that will give them to you. You will be able to get it from a couple bosses. These ones specifically: Vulcan, Amalg. You can also get it from Crystal Avatar, and you can even get it from Pit of Trials. The rest of them, you'll have to get it through the mastery crates that you'll get from Insane Mode. You can get them from Corrupted Zones, from Arena. You can get them from Invasions. You can get it. There's a number of different places you can get it. Dungeons again. So you can get these all over the place, and also Cosmic Gatekeeper, but I haven't talked about that yet. That's a tier 7 boss. Once you have it, you can right click it, and you're going to have some options. So for 4 Infernal Fragments, you can get a tier 6 mod. I probably wouldn't recommend it. You probably won't get a max one anyway, but you can roll for this random tier 6 equipment, and then if it happens to be a really high percentage, feel free to use it. If it's or if you don't need it, scrap it, and more on that in a second. You can use the feed for your crafting, or you can sell them. This is probably the best value for money, only spending 3. Once you've got a tier 6 item, what I would recommend is if you're going to scrap it, you can use one of these master salvage kits to get double the amount that you would normally get. So this is quite good. They are, however, a little bit on the pricey side. You can buy some on market for gold. Check the prices and see if you're happy with them. Otherwise, you can do /craft. You can go here to salvage items, and there is more salvage kits that you can buy here, and there's some options. So these ones, these are your normal ones, but they're just handy ones that you can have on you and just use on the fly however many times you want. They're just the equivalent. I wouldn't probably invest in them. I have, but you don't need to. I don't really use them. You can just do everything at spawn. Flawless Salvage Kit is going to just break your items down into, like, separate your mods off of it, as well as scrapping the item. And then you can also use the Master Salvage Kit that I've mentioned here. So would definitely recommend anything tier 6, whether that's a mod or a tier 6 item. If you're going to scrap it, use one of these. Okay, enough about frags. There is also something you can get. I don't actually have any of these at the moment, but if I hover over Amalgamation, you can get Venom items. Now, in order to get Venom items, you're going to need 2 things. There are 2 rare drops from Amalgamation other than Infernal Fragments, and that is Amalgamated Orbs. So they look like slime balls, and also there should be a bunch of these on the market. These Venom Blueprints. Venom Blueprints are tradable. Orbs are not. Okay, with 5 orbs, you can make one of these blueprints, but with 4 orbs, you can actually roll it. I would recommend they're not all that expensive. You could probably save up if you wanted one. Say you wanted an axe. Sack DJ is selling a Venom axe blueprint for 75k. Not bad. So you could purchase that, save up 4 orbs by doing the boss, and then you could roll and get a Venom weapon. Now, Venom weapons are amazing. I would highly recommend them. I'm going to go into more detail on unique weapons momentarily. Okay, but this is some examples. Okay. Also, you have these boss tokens. Okay, so as I mentioned before, unique weapons and armors exist. This is how you get them. They can either drop really rarely from the boss that you happen to be doing, or a little bit less rare, but still somewhat rare. You can get these tokens that will drop once you've got enough of them. Let's say Captain is the one that I'm going to choose. I hold it in my hand and I right click, and I've got some options here. Now, for 12, I can get a specific one that I want, and I will be able to get that. Say I want a Captain's Dagger specifically, I could get that. Or I could roll with 6 for a random one. I don't actually need to do it, so I'm not going to do it. But you can get anything from here. Now, not all of these will have both weapons and armor. Captain happens to have both. Some will have only weapons. Some will have only armors. So that's what they do. All of the uniques are different. They will all have a different special as well. So for example, Sirens, all of these Sirens weapons, you'll see underneath the tier 4 unique item, it has a little special thing mentioned there. Cooldown reduction plus 15%, which means when you're using Sirens weapons, you're going to be able to use them a lot faster. That is its special. Now, something that I will recommend to starter players is saving up and trying to get, either buying it on market or by saving up for these. You can roll for a Yeti piece. So I would never buy it specifically, but for 12 tokens, you can get one of these, and this is going to give you extra XP. Okay, so you've got your unique hybrid here. Very good for the starting game. It's basically the equivalent of max tier 5 hybrid. Not bad investment at the start. Also, if you want to maximize your XP, any of the bandit weapons, despite having really kind of poopy damage, they give you a heap of XP bonus specific to that weapon that you're using. Okay, so if you're using this bandit mace, you're going to get lots more XP. So if you're doing some XP grinding, you might want to have one of these bad boys in your inventory and be using it. Okay, not too difficult to get. Only 4 bandit tokens. So that's from Psycho Bandit. Now, all I really want to add about unique weapons is that tier 4 uniques are not going to be are not going to change whatsoever. They are all going to be absolutely identical, other than perhaps quality. Okay, all the stats 100% the same. They are never going to vary. Okay, in tier 5 and 6, the stats will also be the exact same for all unique weapons and armors. However, sorry, let me find you an example. Here we've got some Venom weapons. So you'll see that they are all 26, 28. Okay, they never vary. They are always the same. The only thing that will vary for tier 5 uniques and tier 6 uniques is the amount of attachment slots. So this Venom weapon could, these are all 6 slot, but they could have only 5 attachment slots. The ones with 6 slots are more sought after and therefore more expensive, but really all that you're going to be able to do with that is add an additional gold bonus or loot bonus, whatever you want. It's not all that necessary to go ahead and get those maximum slots. I probably would do it for tier 5, so you can either have 4 slots, attachment slots, or 5 slots. I'd probably go for the 5 slot, just so you can have at least one bonus on it. So, for example, with the captain's gear, this is how I have it set up. So, captain's armor as well is very, very good. If you want to claim loot from something, you probably want to have that extra loot bonus. So, definitely worth investing in some captain's gear. Hopefully, I'm not overwhelming you. But that's pretty much everything I need to say about uniques. You've also got... actually, I'm not going to go into tier 7 stuff later. Now, that's going to be later. You also got vote tokens, so whenever you vote, you're going to get these crates, and you can use this in the vote shop, okay? So, that's about it in terms of loot.